The bright screens in the underground laboratory illuminated the tired faces of the research team. Dr. James Walker rubbed his eyes, staring at the strange readings for the 100th time that night. Something wasn't adding up in the data from Earth's core samples, and it had been bothering him for weeks. The deep sensors they had placed around the world were picking up an odd quantum frequency, something that shouldn't exist naturally. It pulsed with a steady rhythm, almost like a heartbeat, but it didn't match any known geological phenomenon. "Look at this pattern," he said to his colleague, Mary, pointing at the screen. "It's too regular to be random, but it's not matching any of our models." Mary leaned in, her forehead creasing as she studied the wave patterns dancing across the monitor. Before she could respond, all the equipment in the lab started going crazy. Readings spiked across every monitor, and the quantum frequency they had been studying suddenly amplified tenfold. The overhead lights flickered, and a low hum filled the room. "Something's happening," James said, his fingers flying across the keyboard as he tried to make sense of the data flood. "The signal, it's changing." The other scientists in the lab gathered around, their faces lit by the glow of emergency lights that had kicked in. Then came the news that would change everything. A young researcher burst into the lab, his tablet displaying multiple news feeds. "You need to see this. They're everywhere, above every major city." The team rushed to the surface, emerging from their underground facility into the cool night air. The sky above them was filled with lights, not stars, but massive ships hanging in perfect formation. Their smooth silver hulls reflected the city lights below, making them look like artificial moons. People were flooding the streets, phones pointed upward, some crying, others praying, many just standing in silent awe. Military jets screamed overhead, but the ships made no aggressive moves. They simply hung there, waiting. Hours passed, and the world held its breath. News channels showed the same scene playing out across the globe. Identical ships over every major city, maintaining their positions with impossible precision. The first message came at dawn. It wasn't broadcast over radio or television. It appeared simultaneously on every connected device on Earth, in every language. "We come in peace," it began, "as friends and protectors. Your world is more important than you know." James and his team were among the first scientists called to the hastily assembled International Response Center. As they shared their recent findings about the strange core readings, the pieces started falling into place. The aliens hadn't chosen Earth randomly. They had come because of that signal, the one James and his team had been studying. "The quantum frequency you detected," the alien ambassador later explained in their first direct communication, "is your planet's anchor signature. It's been there since Earth's formation, growing stronger as your species evolved." The ambassador, who chose the simple Earth name Reed to make communication easier, looked remarkably humanoid, though their silvery skin and slightly larger eyes marked them as clearly non-human. Reed explained that they had been watching Earth for centuries, monitoring the strength of its quantum signature. "Your world is special," they said, "one of 12 anchor worlds that maintain the stability of space-time itself, and Earth's signal is the strongest of them all." James thought back to all those nights studying the strange readings, never imagining they were looking at something so fundamental to the universe's existence. The signal wasn't just some geological curiosity. It was Earth's contribution to keeping reality itself stable. But Reed's next words turned amazement to concern. "We are called the Guardians, and we've come because Earth is in danger. Others are coming, those who would destroy this world, and with it, the delicate balance that prevents universal chaos." The team worked through the night, comparing their data with the information Reed provided. Everything matched perfectly. The frequency patterns, the energy signatures, even the subtle variations they had detected but couldn't explain. Earth wasn't just their home anymore. It was one of the universe's fundamental pillars. As the sun rose on this new reality, James looked at the alien ships still hanging in the sky and realized that humanity's role in the universe was far greater than anyone had ever imagined. The real question was, were they ready for the responsibility and the danger that came with it? The Grand Hall of the United Nations fell silent as Ambassador Reed stepped up to the podium. The alien's silver skin caught the light, creating a subtle glow that made the scene feel even more surreal. World leaders and top scientists filled every seat, all eyes fixed on the being who was about to explain why Earth was so crucial to the universe's survival. "Your world is unique," Reed began, their voice calm and clear. "The quantum frequency emanating from your planet's core isn't just a signal. It's a stabilizing force that helps maintain the very fabric of reality." The translator devices provided by the Guardians converted their words into every Earth language simultaneously. Dr. James Walker sat in the front row, his research notes spread across his lap. He watched as Reed activated a holographic display that filled the center of the hall. A complex network of glowing lines appeared, connecting 12 bright points of light arranged in a perfect geometric pattern. "This is, or was, the complete network of anchor worlds," Reed explained. As they spoke, 10 of the 12 lights dimmed and flickered out. "Over the past 1,000 years, we've lost 10 of the 12 anchors. Only Earth and one other remain." The hologram zoomed in on the 2 remaining points of light, one pulsing significantly stronger than the other. Gasps filled the room as the implications became clear. "Each anchor world generates a unique quantum frequency," Reed continued. "Together, they form a network that prevents the universe from falling into chaos. Earth's signal is the strongest we've ever encountered, and we believe we know why." The hologram shifted to show a detailed scan of Earth's core, surrounded by layers of quantum energy that seemed to pulse in sync with human brainwave patterns. "Your species didn't evolve by accident. Humanity's consciousness is somehow linked to Earth's anchor properties. Your thoughts, your emotions, your creativity, they all contribute to strengthening the signal." James looked down at his notes, suddenly seeing the patterns in a new light. The variations in the quantum readings matched global human activity patterns. The signal was strongest when large groups of humans were awake and active, working together, creating, thinking, feeling. "We've been watching your progress for millennia," Reed revealed. "As your civilization grew, as your population increased, as your collective consciousness expanded, Earth's anchor signal grew stronger. You are not just inhabitants of an anchor world. You are its caretakers, its amplifiers." The room erupted in murmured discussions. A world leader stood up, asking the question on everyone's mind. "Why tell us this now? Why not earlier?" Reed's expression grew grave. "Because the threat is imminent. The Void Seekers, those who destroyed the other anchor worlds, are coming. They believe that by destroying all anchors, they can reset the universe to some imagined pure state. They left Earth for last because its signal is the strongest, and because they fear what humanity might become." Images appeared showing the destruction of other anchor worlds, planets cracking apart, their cores exposed and then extinguished. The room fell silent again, this time with horror. "Without the anchor network," Reed explained, "reality itself is becoming unstable. Time distortions, spatial anomalies, gravitational failures, they're all increasing." James raised his hand, and Reed acknowledged him. "The quantum fluctuations we've been detecting, are those symptoms of the network's collapse?" "Yes," Reed confirmed. "Your scientists have already detected the effects, though you didn't know their cause. The universe is slowly unraveling. Earth's signal, combined with the last remaining anchor world, is all that's holding things together. And now, the Void Seekers have begun their final campaign." The hologram showed a massive fleet of ships, different from the Guardians' vessels, moving through space with clear purpose. "They will reach Earth within 6 months," Reed said. "We've come to help you prepare, to teach you how to harness and strengthen your world's anchor signal. Humanity's survival and the fate of the universe are now inseparable." As the meeting continued, James looked around the room at his fellow humans. Politicians, scientists, military leaders, all coming to terms with humanity's true place in the cosmos. They weren't just another species on another planet. They were the universe's last, best hope for survival. The weight of that responsibility settled over the room like a heavy blanket, but with it came a sense of purpose that humanity had never known before. The first sign that something was terribly wrong came when the stars began to blur. People around the world watched in horror as the night sky seemed to smear like wet paint. The Guardian's instruments confirmed what everyone feared. The last remaining anchor world besides Earth had fallen to the Void Seekers. Dr. James Walker stood in the Global Command Center, watching as reports flooded in from every corner of the planet. Time distortions were appearing randomly. A small town in Kansas experienced 3 sunsets in 2 hours, while a village in India reported that their clocks had started running backward. The universe is becoming unstable faster than we predicted, Ambassador Reed said, their usually calm voice tight with concern. Without the other anchors, the fabric of reality is starting to tear. The massive screen in front of them showed growing patches of red, areas where the laws of physics were beginning to break down. A group of children in Brazil had aged 5 years in an afternoon. In Russia, a forest had unexpectedly turned to glass. The incidents were getting worse and more frequent. Earth's quantum signal was now the only thing preventing total cosmic chaos. "They're coming," Mary announced from her monitoring station. The long-range sensors showed the Void Seekers' fleet approaching faster than expected. Their ships looked like black tears in space, absorbing light rather than reflecting it. Their weapons, they're unlike anything we've seen before. Through the Guardian's communication network, they received the final transmission from the last fallen anchor world. The footage showed massive ships firing beams of pure darkness that seemed to erase matter itself. The planet's core had been literally unwritten from existence, its quantum signature snuffed out like a candle. "How long do we have?" James asked, watching as more spatial anomalies appeared on the global map. A scientist in Japan had reported that gravity had reversed in his lab for 10 minutes. In Egypt, a pyramid had aged 1,000 years in seconds, crumbling to dust. 3 days, Reed replied. Maybe less. The Void Seekers know Earth is the last anchor. They'll throw everything they have at us. The alien's silver skin had taken on a dull sheen, reflecting their concern. And without the support of the other anchors, Earth's defenses will be tested like never before. The combined fleet of Earth's military forces and Guardian ships took up defensive positions around the planet. But everyone knew conventional weapons might not be enough against an enemy that could manipulate reality itself. The Void Seekers didn't just want to destroy Earth, they wanted to erase its very existence from the cosmic equation. In the research lab beneath the command center, James and his team worked desperately to strengthen Earth's quantum signature. They had discovered that human consciousness could amplify the signal, but they needed time to develop a way to harness that power effectively. "Look at this," Tom Richards, one of the quantum physicists, called out. He pointed to a reading that showed how the signal pulsed stronger whenever humans worked together with common purpose. It's not just about consciousness, it's about unity. The more humans connect and cooperate, the stronger Earth's anchor becomes. But even as they worked, reality continued to fray around them. Workers reported seeing their own ghostly duplicates walking through walls. Time began moving at different speeds in different parts of the same building. The universe was coming apart at the seams, and Earth's signal was barely holding things together. The Guardians shared everything they knew about the Void Seekers' technology, but it was becoming clear that this battle would be unlike anything in human history. They weren't just fighting for their planet or their species, they were fighting for the continued existence of reality itself. As the hours ticked by, the anomalies grew worse. In London, a skyscraper aged backwards until it was nothing but raw materials. In Sydney, people reported seeing multiple versions of the moon in the sky. The fabric of space-time was stretching to its breaking point. The final countdown had begun. Humanity had 3 days to find a way to save not just themselves, but the entire universe. As James looked at the increasingly chaotic readings on his monitors, he knew that every second counted. The Void Seekers were coming, and with them, they brought the potential end of everything that had ever existed or would exist. Earth's signal pulsed steadily in the background, like a defiant heartbeat in the face of approaching doom. It was now or never. The greatest test in human history was about to begin. The underground research facility buzzed with frantic energy as scientists from around the world worked alongside Guardian technicians. Dr. James Walker and Tom Richards had been awake for 36 hours straight, fueled by coffee and the desperate knowledge that time was running out. "Look at these patterns," Tom said, pointing to a complex display of quantum readings. "Every time there's a major human gathering, every time people come together with shared purpose, the signal spikes." He pulled up footage from recent Unity rallies that had sprung up worldwide. The quantum readings matched perfectly with the crowd's emotional peaks. James leaned forward, his tired eyes suddenly alert. It's not just random emotional response. There's something more structured here. He overlaid data from different time zones, showing how Earth's signal strengthened as humans went about their daily lives, working, creating, thinking, and feeling together. Ambassador Reed entered the lab, accompanied by the world's leading consciousness researchers. "We've been analyzing your species' evolution," they said, their silver skin reflecting the blue light of the monitors. "The development of human consciousness wasn't random. Your brains evolved specifically to resonate with Earth's quantum frequency." The team gathered around a central holographic display showing the structure of human consciousness compared to Earth's core signal. The patterns were identical, like a key fitting perfectly into a lock. "This is why Earth's anchor signal is the strongest," Reed explained. "You're not just living on an anchor world, you're part of its fundamental mechanism." Tom pulled up new data, showing how human creative activities, art, music, scientific discovery, even simple problem-solving, created unique ripples in the quantum field. "We're natural amplifiers," he said, excitement breaking through his exhaustion. "Our minds are literally designed to strengthen the anchor signal." The Guardian scientists shared their advanced quantum mapping technology, revealing how human consciousness created a vast, invisible network that wrapped around the planet. Every human thought, every emotion, every moment of connection between people added to its strength. "But we need more," James said, pacing the room. "The Void Seekers will be here in less than 2 days. We need a way to harness this connection, to amplify it deliberately." He stopped at a whiteboard covered in equations and diagrams. "We need to find a way to unite humanity's consciousness on a scale never seen before." The team worked through the night, combining Guardian technology with human innovation. They discovered that meditation, focused thought, and synchronized activity could boost the signal significantly. But they needed something bigger, something that could channel the mental energy of billions of people simultaneously. "What if we created a network?" Tom suggested, sketching rapidly on the whiteboard. "Not just computers, a quantum network that could link human minds together safely, amplifying their natural connection to Earth's core frequency." The Guardian's advanced technology could make it possible, but it had never been attempted on such a scale. They began designing a system of quantum resonators that could be distributed worldwide, creating a framework for humanity's collective consciousness to strengthen Earth's anchor signal. As they worked, more reality distortions appeared around the globe. In Brazil, a mountain range flickered in and out of existence. In Japan, a group of people experienced the same day 3 times in a row. The universe was becoming increasingly unstable, and Earth's signal was the only thing holding reality together. The team made a breakthrough in the early hours of the morning. By combining Guardian quantum technology with human neural mapping, they created a prototype device that could safely channel and amplify human mental energy. Initial tests showed promising results. Even a small group of focused individuals could significantly boost Earth's anchor signal. "This could work," Reed said, examining the test results. But we'll need everyone, not just a few people or even a few million. We'll need billions of humans, all connected, all focused on the same goal. They looked around the room at the tired but determined faces. We'll need humanity to come together like never before. The next challenge was clear. They had to manufacture and distribute the quantum resonators worldwide. And more importantly, they had to convince humanity to unite in a way it never had before. With the Void Seekers approaching and reality itself unraveling, they had less than 48 hours to prepare for humanity's greatest test. As dawn broke over the facility, James looked at the prototype resonator, glowing softly with combined human and Guardian technology. Their plan was audacious, maybe even impossible. But they had no choice. The fate of the universe depended on humanity's ability to come together as one. News spread across the world. The last anchor world besides Earth had fallen. The footage showed a planet, much like Earth, exploding into cosmic dust as the Void Seekers' dark ships moved through its remains. The sight sent chills through everyone who watched it. Earth was now truly alone. In orbit, the combined fleet of human and Guardian ships moved into defensive positions. Military commanders from every nation worked together in the global command center, coordinating their forces. Traditional enemies now stood side by side, united by the knowledge that their petty differences meant nothing in the face of universal extinction. Multiple spatial tiers detected, a technician announced, her voice steady despite the gravity of the situation. The main screen showed reality literally ripping apart in several locations around the globe. In New York, a tear had opened in Times Square, showing glimpses of other possible realities. In Beijing, gravity had reversed in an entire district. Dr. James Walker and his team worked frantically to distribute the quantum resonators. Guardian ships zipped across the planet, delivering the devices to major population centers. Each resonator would help channel human consciousness to strengthen Earth's anchor signal, but they needed more time to get the network fully operational. Void Seeker fleet detected, came the announcement everyone had been dreading. The enemy ships emerged from hyperspace, like holes cut in reality itself. Their black hulls seemed to devour light, making them look like moving shadows against the stars. There were thousands of them. Ambassador Reed stood at the command center, their silver skin dulled with concern. They're earlier than we expected. Their weapons can unmake matter itself. Conventional defenses won't hold for long. The room fell silent as tactical displays showed the overwhelming size of the Void Seeker fleet. The first attacks came without warning. Beams of pure darkness struck Earth's atmosphere, creating zones where reality itself began to unravel. The combined human Guardian fleet moved to intercept, their weapons blazing against the Void ship's dark hulls. On the ground, chaos erupted as the spatial tiers grew larger. Time began moving at different speeds in different parts of the world. In some places, people saw multiple versions of themselves from different timelines. The universe was coming apart at the seams. The resonator network isn't ready, Tom Richards reported from the lab. We've only managed to distribute 60% of the devices. We need more time. But time was the one thing they didn't have. The Void Seekers pressed their attack, their weapons creating expanding zones of unreality wherever they struck. The battle in space was unlike anything in human history. Guardian ships used quantum weapons that bent reality itself, while Earth's military forces fired everything they had at the enemy. But for every Void Seeker ship they destroyed, two more seemed to take its place. A massive blast rocked the planet as the Void Seekers deployed their primary weapon, a reality-destroying beam aimed at Earth's core. The planet's quantum signature flickered, and for a moment, everything seemed to freeze. Time itself held its breath. The anchor signal is destabilizing, James shouted over the alarms. If we don't do something now, we'll lose everything. The readings from Earth's core were becoming erratic. The planet's fundamental connection to reality was being attacked directly. In orbit, brave pilots from every nation on Earth flew alongside Guardian ships, sacrificing themselves to block the reality-destroying beams. Their actions bought precious minutes, but everyone knew it wouldn't be enough. The Void Seekers were too many, their weapons too powerful. Then something unexpected happened. Even in areas without resonators, people began to feel a connection, a sense of unity that transcended language, culture, and distance. Earth's natural quantum frequency began to pulse stronger, resonating with the collective will of humanity to survive. "Look at these readings," Tom said in amazement. "The signal, it's stabilizing on its own. People are connecting naturally, without the resonators." The quantum displays showed Earth's anchor signal growing stronger, pushing back against the Void Seekers' attacks. But would it be enough? The enemy fleet pressed their attack with increasing fury, determined to destroy Earth's anchor signal once and for all. As reality continued to fray around them, humanity faced its greatest test, not just of their weapons or technology, but of their ability to unite as one species, one consciousness, one force against the darkness that threatened to unmake everything. The battle for Earth, and for the universe itself, had truly begun. In the chaos of the battle, Dr. James Walker made a discovery that changed everything. While analyzing the data from Earth's strengthening quantum signal, he noticed something that had been right in front of them all along. The patterns weren't just random energy, they matched the exact structure of human creativity and emotional capacity. "Tom, look at this," he called out, his voice cutting through the sound of distant explosions. The lab's reinforced walls shook as another reality-warping blast hit somewhere above. Tom Richards hurried over, his eyes widening as he looked at the display. The data showed a perfect correlation between human creative activities and the strength of Earth's anchor signal. Every piece of music ever composed, every story ever written, every scientific breakthrough, they all left distinct patterns in the quantum field, strengthening the very fabric of reality itself. "It's not just consciousness," James explained, his hand shaking with excitement despite the battle raging outside. "It's our ability to imagine, to create, to feel deeply. That's why Earth's signal is so strong. That's why the Void Seekers left us for last." The realization hit him like a physical force. Ambassador Reed entered the lab, ducking as another explosion rocked the facility. "What have you found?" they asked, their silver skin reflecting the emergency lights. When James showed them the data, the aliens' eyes widened in a very human expression of surprise. "All this time," Reed said softly, "we thought it was just about consciousness. But it's more than that. Your species evolved differently from any other we've encountered. Your capacity for creativity, for emotional connection, it's not random. It's a direct result of Earth's quantum properties." The monitors showed how human emotions created ripples in the quantum field. Love, hope, fear, joy. Each feeling resonated with Earth's core frequency in unique ways. But the strongest effects came from creativity and innovation, the distinctly human ability to imagine things that had never existed before. The Void Seekers don't just want to destroy Earth because it's the last anchor, Tom realized. They're afraid of what humanity might become. Our potential to not just maintain reality, but to reshape it, to strengthen it in ways they can't understand. Above them, the battle continued to rage. Reality-destroying beams clashed with the combined weapons of Earth and Guardian ships. But now they understood why some areas of the planet seemed more resistant to the attacks, places where human creativity and emotional connection were strongest. James pulled up more data, showing how the quantum field responded to different human activities. Scientific discovery created sharp, brilliant patterns. Artistic creation made flowing, dynamic waves. Even simple acts of human kindness and connection left their mark, strengthening the anchor signal in subtle but important ways. "We've been looking at this all wrong," he said, rapidly typing commands into the system. "The resonators aren't just about connecting people. They need to amplify what makes us uniquely human: our creativity, our emotions, our ability to imagine and innovate." Tom understood immediately. Together, They began reconfiguring the quantum resonator network. Instead of just channeling human consciousness, they modified the devices to specifically amplify creative and emotional energy. The effect was immediate. Earth's anchor signal grew stronger, more stable. In the command center above, military leaders watched in amazement as areas with active resonators began pushing back against the reality distortions. The Void Seeker's weapons seemed less effective where human creative and emotional energy was strongest. This is why Earth evolved the way it did, Reed explained as they watched the data pour in. Your planet's quantum properties didn't just support life. They encouraged the development of consciousness that could imagine, create, and feel deeply. You're not just maintaining reality. You're adding to it, strengthening it, making it more resilient. The discovery gave them hope, but it also revealed the true stakes of the battle. If the Void Seekers succeeded in destroying Earth, they wouldn't just be eliminating an anchor point. They would be destroying the universe's capacity to grow, to change, to become more than the sum of its parts. As another blast shook the facility, James looked at the quantum readings showing the unique signature of human creativity and emotion. They had finally understood why Earth was so special, and why it had to be protected at all costs. Now they just had to find a way to use this knowledge before it was too late. The discovery about human creativity spurred James and his team into frenzied action. If human imagination and emotion could strengthen reality itself, they needed a way to amplify these qualities on a global scale. The lab hummed with energy as scientists and Guardian technicians worked to modify the quantum resonator network. We need to reconfigure all the resonators, Tom said, his fingers flying over the holographic controls. Not just for consciousness connection, but to specifically enhance creative and emotional energy. Around them, other scientists were already sending new instructions to the devices deployed worldwide. The redesigned network would do more than just link minds. It would create a feedback loop, amplifying humanity's unique ability to imagine and feel. Each resonator became a focal point for human creativity, turning abstract thoughts and emotions into quantum energy that strengthened Earth's anchor signal. Look at these readings, Mary called out from her station. The displays showed how areas with active resonators were becoming more resistant to the Void Seeker's reality-warping weapons, where people gathered to create, to connect, to share ideas and emotions. The fabric of space-time grew stronger. Ambassador Reed worked alongside them, combining Guardian technology with the new understanding of human consciousness. Your species has always had this potential, they said, making adjustments to the quantum field harmonics. You just needed to understand how to use it. The team developed a new interface for the resonator network, one that would encourage not just unity, but creative expression and emotional connection. Through advanced quantum mechanics, they found a way to convert human imagination directly into reality-stabilizing energy. We need everyone, James said, looking at the global map showing the network of resonators. Not just their presence, but their active participation. Their creativity, their feelings, their ability to imagine something better. He turned to the communication team. Get the word out. Tell them what we need. The message spread across the planet. Humanity needed to do more than just connect. They needed to create, to feel, to imagine. Artists began performing in public spaces near resonators. Scientists shared their wildest theories. Writers told stories of hope and survival. Musicians played together in impromptu concerts. Each creative act, each shared emotion, each moment of human connection added to Earth's quantum strength. The resonators captured this energy, amplifying it, and feeding it back into the planet's core signal. The effect was like nothing they had seen before. The signal is changing, Tom announced, watching the readings with amazement. The quantum frequency wasn't just growing stronger. It was becoming more complex, more resilient. Human creativity was adding new layers to reality itself, making it harder for the Void Seekers to unravel. But they needed more. The enemy's attacks were intensifying, and parts of the planet were still vulnerable. James and his team worked to improve the resonator network's efficiency, finding ways to capture and amplify even the smallest creative acts and emotional connections. What if we could channel specific types of human activity? Mary suggested. They began experimenting with different frequencies, discovering that certain forms of creativity had unique effects on the quantum field. Scientific innovation created sharp, stabilizing patterns. Artistic expression generated flowing waves of energy that helped heal reality distortions. The Guardian scientists were amazed by the complexity of human creative energy. No other species we've encountered can affect quantum reality this way, Reed observed. Your imagination doesn't just create ideas, it strengthens the very fabric of existence. As the team worked to perfect the network, reports came in from around the world. People were finding new ways to contribute their creative and emotional energy. Children's drawings strengthened local quantum fields. Community gatherings created powerful surges in the anchor signal. Even simple acts of kindness generated measurable quantum effects. We're not just fighting for survival anymore, James realized as he watched the data flow in. We're showing why humanity deserves to survive, why our way of seeing and experiencing reality matters. The modified resonator network was nearly ready. Soon, they would attempt something unprecedented, channeling the creative and emotional energy of billions of humans simultaneously. If it worked, Earth's anchor signal would become stronger than ever before. If it failed, reality itself might unravel. Time was running out. The Void Seekers were pressing their attack, and reality distortions were spreading. But for the first time since the battle began, humanity had more than just hope. They had a way to fight back using their most fundamental strengths, their ability to imagine, to create, and to feel. The moment of truth arrived as the Void Seekers launched their final assault. Their dark ships filled Earth's skies, their reality-destroying weapons powering up for one massive, coordinated strike. In the command center, Dr. James Walker gave the signal to activate the modified resonator network. Around the world, billions of humans responded to the call. Artists picked up their tools, musicians their instruments, writers their pens. Scientists shared their boldest theories while children drew pictures of hope. In every city, every town, every gathering place, people came together to create and connect. The quantum readings went off the scale. Each resonator glowed with gathered human energy, creative force, and emotional power combining into something entirely new. Earth's anchor signal began to pulse with unprecedented strength, each beat driven by the collective imagination of humanity. The network didn't just link minds, it amplified everything that made humans unique. Every story being told, every song being sung, every moment of connection between people added to the growing wave of quantum energy. The planet began to shine with a light that had nothing to do with the sun. "Look at these readings," Tom shouted over the hum of the resonators. The displays showed Earth's quantum signature expanding, growing more complex with each passing second. The creative energy of billions of humans was being channeled into pure reality-stabilizing force. When the Void Seekers fired their weapons, something unexpected happened. The dark beams that had unmade other worlds met a barrier of pure human creativity. Where their reality-destroying energy touched the quantum field generated by humanity's collective imagination, it simply dissolved. In orbit, Guardian ships watched in amazement as Earth began to glow with quantum energy. The planet's anchor signal wasn't just defending against the attacks, it was pushing back, healing the tears in reality that the Void Seekers had created. Amateur musicians playing in subway stations contributed as much as symphony orchestras in concert halls. Children sharing stories in classrooms added their energy to poets performing in crowded squares. Every human activity that involved creativity or emotional connection strengthened the field. "It's working," James called out, watching as the quantum readings continued to climb. Earth's signal had become a beacon, a pillar of creative force that stabilized not just local spacetime, but reached out across the cosmos, beginning to heal the damage done by the destruction of other anchor worlds. The Void Seekers pressed their attack, pouring more power into their reality-destroying weapons, but they found themselves fighting against something they had never encountered before. The combined creative and emotional energy of an entire species, focused and amplified through the resonator network. In the space battle above, human and Guardian pilots felt the energy too. Their ships moved with new precision, protected by the strengthened quantum field. The Void Seeker's weapons, designed to unmake reality, struggled against a reality that was being actively reinforced by billions of human minds. Communities joined hands around resonators, their shared hope and determination adding to the field's strength. Scientists working on breakthrough discoveries found their ideas resonating with the quantum frequency. Artists creating in their studios felt connected to something larger than themselves. A particularly powerful blast from the Void Seekers rocked the planet, but instead of causing damage, it was absorbed into the quantum field and transformed. The creative energy of humanity took the destructive force and reshaped it, turning it into something new and beautiful. "They can't break through," Tom announced, his voice filled with wonder. The displays showed the Void Seekers' weapons becoming less and less effective. Earth's strengthened anchor signal was making reality itself resistant to their attempts to unravel it. Ambassador Reed watched the readings with amazement. "Your species has done something unprecedented," they said. "You haven't just defended reality. You've made it stronger, more resilient, more alive." The Void Seekers' fleet began to falter as their weapons proved useless against the barrier of human creativity. Ships that had destroyed entire worlds found themselves unable to break through the quantum field generated by children's drawings and shared stories. As the battle reached its peak, Earth's anchor signal pulsed with the combined creative force of humanity. It wasn't just a defense anymore. It had become a statement about what reality could be when shaped by imagination, emotion, and connection. The universe itself seemed to respond, the fabric of space-time growing stronger, more stable, enriched by the outpouring of human creative energy. The Void Seekers' dark ships began to retreat, their reality-destroying weapons useless against a reality that humanity had made unbreakable. The defeat of the Void Seekers marked not just the end of a battle, but the beginning of something entirely new. As their dark ships retreated into the depths of space, Earth's quantum signature continued to pulse strongly, its rhythm now enriched by the creative energy of billions of humans. In the weeks that followed, Dr. James Walker and his team observed something remarkable. The resonator network, though no longer needed for defense, had created lasting changes in how humanity connected to their planet's anchor properties. People could feel it now, a subtle awareness of how their creativity and emotions strengthened the fabric of reality. The Guardian ships remained in orbit, but their role had changed from protectors to partners. Ambassador Reed worked with Earth's scientists to understand the full implications of what humanity had achieved. The quantum readings showed that Earth's anchor signal wasn't just maintaining reality anymore. It was actively improving it. "Your species has evolved beyond our expectations," Reed explained during a global broadcast. "You've shown that consciousness can do more than just exist within reality. It can enhance it, strengthen it, make it more resilient." The signals from Earth were already beginning to heal the damage caused by the loss of other anchor worlds. Cities around the planet began incorporating resonator technology into public spaces, creating areas where human creativity and connection could naturally strengthen the quantum field. Art galleries, concert halls, research laboratories, and community centers became focal points for reality-stabilizing energy. The changes weren't just local. Earth's enhanced anchor signal reached across space, creating a new kind of stability in the cosmos. Other species began visiting Earth, not seeking military alliance or technology, but trying to understand how human creativity could affect the very fabric of existence. Tom Richards led a team studying how different forms of human activity influenced the quantum field. They discovered that every type of creativity left its own unique signature. Scientific breakthroughs created sharp, brilliant patterns. Artistic expression generated flowing waves of energy. Even simple acts of human kindness strengthened the field in subtle but important ways. "We're not just maintaining the universe anymore," James explained to a group of visiting alien scientists. We're helping it grow, evolve, become more than it was. The data showed how human imagination was adding new layers of complexity to reality itself, making it richer and more stable. The education system around the world began to change, recognizing that creativity and emotional intelligence weren't just cultural values. They were fundamental forces that could shape reality. Children were encouraged to explore their imaginative potential, understanding that their ideas and feelings contributed to something larger than themselves. The resonator network evolved too, becoming more sophisticated and responsive. It no longer needed to be actively managed, instead naturally amplifying the creative and emotional energy that humans naturally produced. Earth's anchor signal grew stronger with each passing day, as billions of people lived, created, and connected. Ambassador Reed and the Guardians shared their knowledge freely, helping humanity understand their new role in the cosmos. You've become more than just caretakers of an anchor world, Reed told the United Nations. You're now the guardians of reality's potential to grow and change. The Void Seekers never returned, but their actions had led to an unexpected outcome. In trying to destroy Earth's anchor signal, they had forced humanity to discover their true potential, their ability to not just exist within reality, but to actively participate in its evolution. Research centers were established around the world, dedicated to understanding and developing humanity's unique relationship with the quantum field. Scientists, artists, and philosophers worked together, exploring new ways to use human creativity to strengthen and enhance reality. James looked out over the changed world from his lod window. The sky seemed different now, not just because of the Guardian ships that still hung in orbit, but because everyone could feel the connection between their creative acts and the strength of reality itself. We always wondered why humans were so driven to create, to imagine, to connect, he said to Tom as they reviewed the latest quantum readings. Now we know, it wasn't just for ourselves. It was for the universe itself. Earth had become more than just another world. It was a beacon of creativity and consciousness, a place where reality itself was constantly being reinforced and enriched by the collective imagination of humanity. The universe had changed, and humanity had changed with it, stepping into a role that no one could have predicted, but that now seemed inevitable, the caretakers of reality's future.